Yeah, you know the deal. You nothing changed. Judah Ben. Yeah. Here we go again to open up the show again. Suckers want to copy, so they try to wonder where we been. It's Thomas from the Bronx talking boxing, football and baseball and sometimes wrestling. Plus he all about the dough like Fosse. You might even catch him live, be on IG. You know he still rock with sock, even when the whole block is hot. Chillin' in the cut like a doc. A lot of cowards, they act fake in a spot like they taking a spot, but imitators a pop. Tommy dropping out gems like a treasure chest. Every other week you might catch him with a special guest. Like the champ Keith Cologne, he's a regular. Took pics with Bud, so you better show him love. BBO and D-Free playing safety. They blocking all nonsense. Sonny, change your conscience. Yeah. You already know the deal. Judah Ben. Tell a friend to tell a friend, son. Tommy from the Bronx. BVO, D-Free, Socrates in the spot. East St. Louis.
Tell me we champ of the world. Shout out to TD Sports. TD Sports. Let's go, champ.
Gotcha. TD Sports Talk in the house. Let's go.
Shout out to TD Sports, man. B. Norman Jr., man. See you taking the pictures out there and with that New York doing big things, man. Keep doing your thing.
Yo, what's good, man? Hope everybody's doing well on this Friday night. We're November 14th. A lot of things going on this weekend, next weekend. Is it a November to remember? Could it be a November to remember? Yeah, buddy! I certainly hope so. I'm here with my guest. Not my guest, I'm sorry. I'm here with my co-host of Friday Night Sports Talk. My man D-Free is in the building. What's good with you, D-Free? How's everything? D-Free, you there? I don't know what's going on, man. What's up with this? Everything is going wrong today. It's like frozen. You're frozen, D-Free. I don't know if it's my end or your end. I'm looking at the other monitor. It looks like you're frozen. So I'm going to continue. Chat, if anybody's in the chat, I see Angie Baby's in there. Salute to you. Thanks for coming through. Daniel Berry Sports Highlights is in the building. Thanks for coming through. If you don't hear me, let me know. If you hear me, you don't hear me. If you hear D-Free, I don't hear D-Free right now. And he looks frozen on the screen. I don't know if it's my end or if it's his end. So if you guys could help me out, that would be greatly appreciated. D-Free just popped off, so maybe it was his end. But can you guys hear me? Is everything working fine? What's good, BBO? Can you hear me? Let me know if you guys can hear me. Because it looks like we're having problems here. I don't hear, nobody's writing in the chat. I don't know what's going on. Okay. All right. Thank you, Angie, man. I appreciate you. Thank you. All right. So D-Free is probably on his end. He'll be back. There he goes. D-Free, you with me?
Yeah, I'm here.
All right. Cool.
It was on my day.
Oh, all right. I thought it was mine because it was like frozen for a minute.
Yeah,
so BBO said he sounds like, oh no, he says I sound like I steal. It's possible. But D-Free, what's good with you, man? How's everything, man?
Man, everything good. What's going on with you?
Chilling, man. Glad the week is over. Ready for this big weekend. Got some good fights tomorrow. We got some good fights next week. Last Friday, we had some good fights on Pro Box. We saw Virgil Ortiz beat Lubin last Saturday. Maybe we could briefly touch on that. But, I mean, November to remember, man, it could be. I mean, let's see what happens after the 22nd, after these 3 weekends. But so far, so good. I'm not disappointed so far.
Yeah, everything been good as of late with boxing.
It's been real good.
Yeah, real good. Tiger Johnson with a masterful performance last week, the best I've ever seen him. Too bad I had to watch him on TV and not in person the 3 or 4 times I did see him in person. But last week was the best. Maybe I'm a jinx. Maybe it's my fault. Maybe I'm Tiger Johnson's jinx. So maybe I got to stay away, and he'll have great performances like he did last Friday. Okay, So some people called me jinx before, so maybe it's true. Maybe it's legit.
Yeah. I mean, we know how you are when it comes to your football team. That's why you don't pick them no more.
Oh,
So
I
don't
stay away.
get
And I'm glad you mentioned that because we're not. I don't think we're going to do the football picks tonight. I'll try to do it either tomorrow or Sunday morning. But it's a big weekend for my Seahawks, man. This is we're going to see how good or not good we really are. We play the Rams this weekend in LA, so that's a big game for Seattle. So I mean, for me, it's more about to see where we're at, see if we're a pretender or a contender. Right now we look like contenders, but we haven't really beat the top teams. We lost to San Francisco early in the year, competitive game, and we lost to Tampa Bay, competitive. So it's a matter of can we at least be competitive? Give me signs that there's hope in the playoffs if we, do continue to win and make the playoffs.
Yeah. Yep. It's a big weekend for y'all because y'all division is real close. Outside of Arizona, the other 3 teams, San Francisco, the Rams, and your squad, y'all all real close. And I mean, possibly all 3 of y'all can make the playoffs.
Yeah, and go figure. The Niner fan pops up right when we're talking about the division. Bang bang, Niner gang. The Niners are still a solid team doing this without their starting quarterback in Brock Purdy, who I never been high on Brock Purdy anyway. But Mac Jones has played really well with the Niners. The Niners are banged up on the defensive end, but yet they still producing wins. I mean, they lost. I believe they lost last week to the Rams. I think it was last week or the week before. And usually they own the Rams. Usually they dominate the Rams, but I think the Rams won the second meet and they beat them the first time. So it's going to be interesting. That the NFC is a lot of good teams. A lot of good teams are winning records. Then there's a lot of bad teams in the NFC as well. So as we're going into like the 11th week, I believe, 11 or 12th week. Now we're going to see and get a better gauge of who's good and who's bad, and who's for real and who's not. So
Yeah.
but
But let's get into it.
let's get to it. All right, because we'll talk football on Sunday, maybe tomorrow. I'm not sure yet. The Irish play tomorrow too, so we're going to catch that early, 12 o'clock at Pitt. Pitt is ranked, so that's a good game for the Irish if they could get the win to help them get chances to make the playoffs. So I love my Irishmen, so that's a big game for the Irish because it's a ranked team, the last ranked team we got on schedule. And real quick, 1, 2, 3, here are the Irish. So that's a big game, 12 o'clock Eastern time, noon. They play at Pitt, so I'll be watching that very closely. But what do you think of the Irish? That offense for the Irish is insane.
I actually might call that game tomorrow night.
Okay, no, it's noon, 12 o'clock.
Oh well, tomorrow afternoon.
Okay,
that's even better.
All right. Bet, man. This. Let me tell you something. If Notre Dame keeps the same team, because they're mostly sophomores and juniors on the offensive end, even freshmen. If they keep the same offense next year, they'll have the best offense in college football. They already, I believe, have the best running backs in football right now. But
their running game is top notch. That's the way to beat Notre Dame. If you can shut down the running game, you can beat Notre Dame because their quarterback is still shaky. He makes some big plays from time to time, but he's still a little shaky. But that running game gets everything going. If you shut down that run game, that's how you beat Notre Dame. But the problem is they got 2 legitimate running backs. So you shut down one, the other one might have a big game. So it's hard to shut down both those guys. And that's the reason why Notre Dame is in the playoff hunt right now because it's hard to shut down both those running backs.
Yeah. My man Shelton says, "Fool, you ain't Irish." I can't with this guy. I swear to God, I'm gonna leave that on the screen because that's funny. It's a little inside joke as well, but I can't stand you, Mr. Shelton. But listen, back in the day, the Irish always had 2, maybe 3 legit running backs, all made the NFL. I'm talking about when they had like Reggie Brooks, Jerome Bettis, Ricky Waters. You know, they used to be stacked with the running backs. And then again, now this year, all these years later, it looks like the Irish are built up because even the other kid, Williams, Aeneas Williams, he's good too. That's 3 solid running backs. I mean, listen, like I said, like I remember Reggie Brooks. I think Reggie Brooks, because I think he was drafted by Washington, and then Jerome Bettis, he went to the Rams. They both were drafted the same year, so I think they came out together, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. And then Ricky Waters played with them as well, like a couple years before.
Ricky Waters went to San Fran, and then I think he ended up going to Philly.
Yep. And then he played a couple years with Seattle. Ricky Fumble. Remember they used to call him. They used to call him Ricky Fumble, Ricky Waters, because he used to fumble a lot. When he was with the Niners, he scored 5 touchdowns in one game, I believe, in the playoffs against the Giants.
Yep.
Yeah, Ricky Waters was nasty. But all right, enough of the football talk. Riverside, he's calling me Radamez. Enough of that. Let's go into it, man. Tomorrow, big showdown. You know, the first fight was Fight of the Year candidate, and back in April, I believe. Conor Benn, Chris Eubank Jr. to be exact. I mean, they both look good on the scale today. I'll get into that a little bit before I ask you what you like and what you don't like. But I'm excited for this. This is a big fight. The undercard's pretty solid too. You know, you got Catterall's taking on that guy that beat Josh Taylor. And then, Kurt Scobie is going to be fighting the guy Asim. That's going to be a really good fight. I think somebody's getting knocked out in that fight. But that card is pretty solid. Pay-per-view on the zone. But what do you think? First things first, before you pick a winner or anything, do you think this fight with Conor Benn and Eubanks will repeat what it did back in April?
You said what it do what?
Will it repeat what it did in the first fight? Can it be just as good as the first fight? Because sometimes rematches, or second fights is just not as good as the first fight, when they have like a fight of the year type fight.
Appreciate that BBO. I think it will. Because both of these guys still have a lot of animosity against each other. So I don't think either one of those guys are going to shy away from the action. I think early on is going to be more so of a chess match as far as Eubanks, because Conor Benn, he fights one type of way. He pretty much come forward and look for the big shot. Eubanks, he more so is a boxer puncher, so he uses his legs a little more. He gives angles at times. I think he has the better defense. So I think early on it's going to be somewhat of a chess match. But once it gets to the middle rounds and the later rounds, if it make it that far,
there you go. All right, you froze for a little bit, D-Free.
Huh?
You froze for a little bit.
Oh, my bad. Yeah, no, I was saying once it gets to the middle or late rounds, if it makes it that far, I think that's when we're going to see the real action. Because Conor Benn is more of a front runner. He doesn't really carry his power late. And I think that's where Eubanks can utilize his boxing ability if he's more conditioned to this weight, because the first time they fought, he was coming down from 68. He hadn't fought at 60 in a while, and so he had a bad weight cut, and you could tell in the fight as the fight went on, he got pretty much lazy. His legs wasn't there. He couldn't really move around the ring as much. I think with this fight coming back, he didn't have another fight at 68, and so I think he's more conditioned for 160 this go around. So I think Eubanks will be able to box a little better than he did in the first fight. But I still think it's going to be it might not be as many fireworks as it was in the first fight, but I still think it will be an exciting fight this go around compared to the first fight.
Okay. Shout out to you, D Free. You made 1,100 subscribers. Your channel has been growing as of late, which is beautiful because you do excellent content over there. You're on everybody else's channel, building your channel. You speak boxing, you speak football. I think you speak a little bit of basketball as well on other platforms. So shout out to my man D Free. If you're not subscribed to D Free, I have it scrolling at the bottom of my screen on your screen. Every week, every live, I've always have is right there. D Free STN right there at the bottom of the screen scrolling. So if you haven't subscribed, type that in and subscribe to my man D Free. My man Mr. Shelter says that I got my man Gary Russell Jr. on my channel.
Appreciate that, Thomas. Appreciate that. And it's so stupid.
Yo, Mr. Shelton is the greatest non-troll troll of all time. That's the best way I think I could put it. Because he's not really a troll, but he can troll. So he's a non-troll troll. That Mr. Shelton is probably the GOAT of that. But yeah, man, I agree with a lot you were saying. I thought Eubanks looked great at this weigh-in. I thought he looked great. It looked like he made the weight comfortably. It looks like he did it the right way. Maybe he didn't do it the right way in the previous fight. He struggled, but as you pointed out, he was coming down in weight. He hadn't fought in 160 in a while. So Mr. Shelter says he hates trolls, so that's why you are the anti-troll. We're gonna come up with a name with you, Mr. Reloaded. But like you pointed out, he came down in weight, and I think this time, he made it a little bit more comfortable. He's got Bomac in his corner now. The last time he had Bomac, he looked great against Liam Smith, because he got knocked out by Liam Smith, but he came back and I thought he looked probably that was probably one of his best performances maybe to date when he had Bomac in his corner. So,
I think that might have been his best performance ever because
yeah,
I never seen Eubanks look like that prior to him having Bomac in his corner. Because when he had Roy Jones, he was trying to be too much like Roy. I think that was probably the best I've seen Eubanks look in his entire career.
Yeah, no, I agree. I want to say the best. I would say maybe one of the best to try to be a little bit fair to other fights. But yeah, as far as what I've seen, I thought that was his best performance when he had Bomac in his corner. Now he has Bomac again. These guys don't like each other. Another thing that I noticed in this, as far as the press conference and even the weigh-in, a couple things as far as Conor Benn is concerned. One, Conor Benn seems to be a little bit more reserved, a little bit more respectful. I know deep down he can't stand Chris, and I know deep down Chris can't stand Conor Benn. But the fact that he keeps mentioning, I respect you, I respect you, I respect you, it doesn't sit that well with me. I like when fighters show respect. I think all fighters should respect the other fighter, and I think as fans we should respect all fighters as well. I'm big on that word respect, but when you constantly have to say it, and I don't like you, but I respect you. To me, it's not the same energy he had in the first fight,
Yeah.
And then the second thing, he looked a lot bigger than the first fight, so he put on some weight. He's a natural, supposedly 147. Hasn't fought at 147 in like a few years. Fighting at 154, and these fights with Eubanks, he put on a lot of weight. Some people question that maybe he might be taking something again. Who knows? We'll see if he gets tested, if that comes out. But he looks a lot more solid. He's probably gonna pack more punch. But I kind of don't like it. I like Eubanks a lot in this fight. I picked Eubanks to win by decision. I feel like now, after watching the weigh-in and watching the energy, I feel like Conor Benn's going to do the same he did the last fight. He's going to come on strong and fade, but I feel like Eubanks might stop him. I feel like it, and I feel like I messed up on my pick. And, I'm in first place in the picks, by the way, in the US 6 pool. I'm in first place. And I feel like I'm going to lose my first place position because I picked Chris Eubanks by unanimous decision. So, and I saw some people picked him by knockout, and I'm kind of thinking he may stop him.
Yeah, I mean, I can see why you say that. Um, it's just when a guy has never been stopped before, it's kind of hard to pick a stoppage, especially to try to pick what round is going to go in. Because even though he might get stopped, I don't know if anybody's going to pick the right round because this is a guy that's never been stopped before. So it's kind of hard to pick what round an individual going to get stopped in that's never been stopped. That's like the whole Earl Spence fight. A lot of people, some people pick Earl Spence to get stopped, but I heard a lot of people was talking about Earl Spence to get stopped early. Uh, you didn't really see a lot of people that picked the exact round that Earl Spence gets stopped because he's never been stopped before. So, I mean, I could see him possibly getting stopped. It's just a matter of when you're in that pool that we're in, you got to pick the right round in order for you to get the points for it.
Yeah, yeah. Which I don't necessarily agree with it. I think they did change this year. I think you get a point if you call the result. So like if you call a knockout, I think you get an extra point, but then you get extra points if you pick the round. I gotta look at the rules again. I think they didn't do that the last time, but I think they did it this time. But I'll double check
Okay.
that. Yeah, it's tough to pick the exact round. That's not easy to do.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But um, I, I'm glad you mentioned the fact that he kept saying that he respect you, and I'm the same way you are. It's nothing wrong with respecting your fighter, but letting him know that you respect him, do that after the fight. You
yeah,
ain't got to do it before the fight. Before the fight is you are at war. You're at war. You going in there to beat this man. You ain't going in there to show him how much respect you got for him. You do that after the round. You tell him all the respect you have for him after the fight is over, not before the fight. So I don't like that neither. And a lot of times when you get that, you don't get the full fighter. You get somebody
yeah.
who literally respects the other person, so they hold something back because they do respect the person.
Yeah, they're a little bit more reserved. Now, we're going to see after the first round because I swear to God, if I see them touch gloves after each round, I think I might throw something at the TV. Um, well, depending, I might be watching on my phone because I'm supposed to go to a party tomorrow. But yeah, if I see that respect in between rounds, I'm going to lose my mind. Like it's okay to show. I think it's okay to show respect even before the fight. But Conor
Hmm.
Ben kept saying it. He said it in the face off. He said it in the press conference. The way in there was really no talking. But I just feel like he's much more reserved than in the first fight. So
Right.
um, I don't know. The energy doesn't seem the same to me, and the energy does seem a little bit off. I mean, who am I to say a judge? We ain't gonna know until we actually see the fight. But in my opinion, from what I saw today at the weigh-in, the energy was just not there for him. I thought Eubanks was focused. I thought he's there for his business. He said he was gonna knock him out, even when they interviewed him. After the weigh-in. And I
Hmm.
think he truly believes that, and I think he's gonna go for it. But Conor Benn's energy from last fight to this fight is just not the same. Just not the same. So
Right. Right. Nah, I agree with you. I mean, a lot of I mean, when you keep telling a guy that you respect him, and we saw you in the first fight, and y'all pretty much couldn't be in the same room. The energy is not the same. He might have took something out of you in that first fight. And that's the reason why I picked Eubanks as well. I picked Eubanks for a unanimous decision. I know I've seen a lot of people thought that Conor Benn was going to win this one, but I'm not. I'm not feeling that. I think Conor Benn is he's going to get beat.
and that'll be a little bit unfortunate as far as like the family is concerned because the Eubanks have pretty much dominated the series, fathers and son. I mean, I think one fight was a draw with the fathers, and then I think Eubanks stopped Nigel in one of the fights as well. If I'm not
Hmm.
mistaken, I think he won the first fight stoppage, and the next fight was majority decision, a majority draw, or something like that. So, and now with the Suns, it's the juniors going the first by unanimous decision. Let's see what happens in the second fight. But can Connor do it for the family? Can he do it for the Ben name? So
Right.
let's see, man. Salute to everybody coming through in the building. Appreciate you guys coming through, showing support to D Free and myself.
Appreciate
Continue to
y'all.
share the channels and help us grow. You know what I mean? But yeah, we're talking about Conor Benn and Eubanks tomorrow. Big fight, big pay-per-view. Is there anything else you're looking forward to on this card tomorrow?
Not really. Not really. I think Scooby supposed to be fighting.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
the other fight. I
I
think
do
that's
want to. I do want to see him. I do want to see him. He's a rising young fighter. But other than that, not really.
yeah, because I think Jack Catterall is going to wash um, the guy he's fighting. The guy he's
I
fighting is
actually, I
Echo
actually
Usyk.
think Jack Catterall going to lose. I actually picked Jack Catterall to lose that fight.
Oh, you did? Wow.
Yeah.
I don't think that guy's any good. I think the guy he just fought Josh Taylor. He beat Josh Taylor pretty easily, but I thought Josh Taylor was done. I mean, he pretty much retired after that fight. I don't think much of this guy. I don't. I think Jack Catterall's he's a solid fighter. This is a big fight for Catterall. He needs to win this fight to move on to get an opportunity to maybe fight for a welterweight title in the future. I like Catterall. I think Catterall wins easy this fight. I think he's going to make it look easy. Catterall's kind of like a throwback fighter. I like him a lot. Very disappointed that he lost to Barboza. That was a close fight. But I like Catterall in a unanimous decision. I don't think it's going to be as exciting as the Kurt Scobie fight. Kurt Scobie, 18-1. They fight at, I believe, super lightweight, which is 140 pounds. And he's taking on this guy. I believe he's from the UK. He's Adam Azim. He's 13-0. He's got 10 knockouts. He's a big knockout puncher. There's been a lot of trash talk in this fight. Scobie's energy in the weigh-in didn't look good. I think the nerves got to him there. It was a lot of nervous energy I saw at Kurt Scobie, but he comes to fight, but he has been stopped before. His loss, he got stopped by, I believe, a journeyman years ago. And this guy, he means business. I picked Scobie to lose in a late knockout. I got Azim knocking him out, but I think this fight is going to be very exciting. At least the first few rounds.
Yeah. Scobie been waiting for this moment. He's finally been televised, and this is somewhat of a big card. It's a big card in the UK. Not really that big of a card in the US, but it's a big card in the UK.
Yeah.
So I mean, who knows? He might go out there and impress the UK fans and have a new fan base. So this is what you want to do when you go into somebody else's home turf or home country. You wanna put on a show and draw some new fans that didn't know about you before.
Yeah, yes, indeed. I mean, big opportunity. I don't believe he's signed by anyone. I think he was fighting mostly with OTX. I could be wrong about that, but maybe this is his tryout. He's the B-side to this guy. They're building this guy up from the UK, Azim. But maybe if he gets the win, maybe Eddie Hearn may sign him. Maybe he gets picked up. This is his big opportunity. He's 30 years old. He's been around for a while. He's been grinding to get wins and get notice, and now this is his time. I just don't think it's going to happen. I mean, I'm rooting for the guy. I like Kurt Scobie. I just don't think he wins tomorrow. I think he gets stopped. I think
he hasn't had the exposure or the opportunities because he wasn't signed to anybody. But like you just said, Eddie Hearn always end up signing somebody if they put on a good show and they see the fans is behind them. Eddie Hearn end up going ahead signing them to a short term deal just to see how they do, and if they start to make a name for themselves, they end up getting a long term deal.
Yeah, and then if they lose, he's not shy about cutting them off the roster quick.
Right.
So aircraft carrier makes a good point about Catterall. That's an excellent point. His punch output is too low to be taken serious as a contender at 147. I agree with that. And I think that's why he's got to throw more punches. He's very strategic on with his punch output. I think he's very accurate in his punch output as well. But that's a very good point.
I agree with that too, but the only problem is outside of maybe two guys, there really ain't that much that he has to worry about at 47.
Yeah, this is the time
Outside
you
of
got the
maybe
opportunity.
two guys. I
Yeah,
mean, and those two guys will be fighting on November 22nd.
yeah,
Outside of that, it ain't really much that he really has to worry about at 147. I mean, you can throw Ryan in there, you can throw Rowley in there, but I think Jack Catterall is a better talent than them. They are bigger punchers, but I believe he's a better talent than those guys are. So I mean, you got Mario Barrios that's at that weight class too, but Mario Barrios hasn't been looking hot as of late. He's been looking beatable. Um, I mean, he's always looked beatable, but he's been looking real beatable as of late. And I believe he got a gift win in that fight with Abel Ramos. He got a gift win in that fight. So Jack Catterall, he can make some noise at 47 because it's top heavy, and everybody else in that division, most people don't really know who's in that division, let alone know about the fighters. Most people don't know who's in that division. You got Tiger Johnson that just moved up to that division,
yeah.
but outside of Tiger Johnson, Devin Haney, Ryan Rowley, Brian Norman, and Mario Barrios, you probably don't even know the rest of the people that's at 47.
And oh, don't forget my guy Rohan Polanco.
Oh yeah, and Polanco.
And
Yeah,
Polanco.
you got Polanco.
But
So
those are both the younger guys.
yeah, outside of that, you probably don't know who's at 47. So I think he can make some noise. Um, but yeah, his low punch output is going to be a problem for him when he's facing against those top level guys.
Yeah, I agree. And now coming to the dance right now, my man Socrates Palmer Jr. What's going on, Big Sock?
What's going
Good
on,
evening,
Scott?
gentlemen. D Free, what up?
What's going
Triple
on?
P.
Was
Yeah,
good, man. Was good, man. You came just in time. We were finishing up talking about the card tomorrow, and we were talking about Eubanks and Conor Benn and some of the undercard fights. So, give us your take. We'll just go right to the main event. What do you think about this rematch? Do you think it's going to be just as good as the first fight, or do we think we're going to get a little bit of a stinker the second fight? It won't live up to the to I guess the magnitude of that first fight. What do you think? What's going to happen tomorrow?
yeah. I was listening to you guys before I jumped on. I thought you guys were pretty much spot on. I don't want to sound like a copycat, but I kind of feel the same way, like D Free. The animosity factor. You figure. I hope it's. I believe it's legit. I don't think it's scripted. I think there's definitely that. They just grew up hating each other's names, right? Like what is it, like the old Hatfield and the McCoys, right? They can't get along, so they got to get it on, right?
Mhm.
Um, there's a lot more pressure on Conor Benn, so I can see him making a mistake, and like you said, I'm kind of leaning towards a Eubank stoppage just because he's a larger fighter naturally, and Conor Benn kind of is a reckless fighter, and he's aggressive. And guys like that tend to get caught. He definitely looks a little thicker and pause, than in the last fight. But muscles weigh on you. It looks good at the weigh-in. But when it's that muscle that you put on, in the weight room after the sixth, seventh round, it's going to be interesting to see how he carries that going forward. I think D Free had mentioned that he's a guy that doesn't really carry his power late in fights. So I think Eubank gets past midway. You may see a tired Ben slow down, and then I think that's when he's susceptible to getting knocked out. But I hope it's good. The first fight was great. I think it super exceeded expectations. Like you said, fight of the year candidate. Rematches tend to kind of be a little bit more cautious, but I don't think either one has that much science to them. So I think maybe like It may have a slow start, but I think after the third round, I think you're gonna see fireworks. I really do. You know, it's there's no better crowd in boxing than the Brits. Nowhere.
Yeah.
You know, and the fight is where?
It's in I think it's where the Tottenham
Yeah.
stadium. If it's
So
not where the Spurs play.
yeah, so I'm glad they kept it in the UK. They didn't sell out, you know, for the Arabs, and it's a good local scrap. The energy's great. You know, when that Sweet Carolina hits, man, I'm into it. You know, I love day drinking, so you can't beat that. So I'm looking for a great fight.
Yeah, I agree with you. UK, you know, they support their own. They support their local guys. I mean, you know, here in America, I don't think in America they support as much. I do believe that they support the local guys. If you build up the local guys, they show up to the, you know, to see the local guys fight if it's in that particular city or state or whatever it may be. But as far as like, you know, let's say you know, a Las Vegas guy fighting in Texas, it's not the same. It's not the same energy as if like a Texas guy, you know, fighting in Texas, and you know you're gonna get the support. But the UK, forget about it. It's not even close.
American promoters are lazy. That's why they'll take the quick, easy payday at a casino as opposed to building up guys. I mean, if you remember, it doesn't even seem that long ago. A guy that had his career cut short, Joe Macy, he was the king of Buffalo. You know, and they built him up. You know, and even growing up, you know, a guy like Virgil Hill. Virgil Hill had all these title defenses in the hotbed of South Dakota. You know,
South Dakota.
Yeah, like these promoters, they would build up, you know, these hometown guys like Tony Lopez out of Sacramento, like even these, you know, not holding the wall, but you know, these obscure places they build up these fighters. That doesn't happen anymore, you know, because and like for a short while, the top ranked guy, you mentioned, ironically mentioned Josh Taylor, the one that Josh Taylor kind of, you know, stamped his star on, Ramirez.
Okay. Yeah, Jose Ramirez.
Yeah, you know, he was from that small town outside of Sacramento, sold a lot of tickets, you know, they built them up. It's just not happening anymore. And it hurts. You know, I think it hurts the product here domestically in the United States. You know, here in America, since we are a melting pot, ethnically, you know, in the East Coast, New York, they'll support a Latin fighter. You know, in the West Coast, they'll support a Mexican fighter. You know, Tank Davis grabs the attention in Georgia, and you know, and the Black American fan base will get after him. Well, in the UK, it's different. You know, they may be racist and everything else, but they'll support their own. They support, you know.
But it's true. It's true. It's funny, but it's true.
Yeah, stop me if I'm lying. I mean, and it's going way back from Frank Bruno. When Frank Bruno fought Mike Tyson the first time, I remember like they support their fighters.
Yeah,
they want
black, white, brown, yellow, whatever. Amir Khan, you know, Prince Nassim, they're heroes.
Yeah, they came over here. Ricky Hatton.
Yeah, the GOAT. You know, it doesn't listen. The UK, hey, they invented the damn sport, right? Might as well.
Yeah.
You know, the organized aspect of it.
Yeah.
You know?
That's an excellent point. You know, so I mean, and I believe that's going to give these two fighters, Eubank and Benn, you know, with the rivalry, you know, even with the rivalry with the parents, it's going to give them opportunity to show out. You know, I mean, I don't think it could be as good as the first fight, but I think it's going to be very good. I mean, the first fight was great, you know, but you know, to repeat what happened in the first fight exactly or even better is a tough task. It's possible, but it's usually tough. Usually you don't see that. I mean, usually you don't see great trilogies like that. Like even like Gotti Ward, right? Like it was a good trilogy, but it was really the best fight was the first fight.
1 and 3, yeah.
3 was good. 3 was good, yeah. But not as the first one. The first one was the best one.
You can also probably take into account they probably took a lot from each other. That
first fight. But remember, Gotti went and got Buddy McGirt, and he started boxing more.
Mm-hmm.
That was the difference. You know, he wasn't going, doing, fighting as like God, would fight. I mean, only great trilogies I can remember was like, was it Marquez and Vasquez? They had 4 fights. That was an awesome trilogy. They fought 4 times.
Mhm.
I mean, almost every fight was really good. So like it's I can't think of too many like 1, 2, and 3s have been really good. I mean, Bo Evander, I thought all 3 fights were pretty good.
Those were great.
Yeah.
I think that might be the greatest trilogy. If you look at because I mean, let's face it, even Ali Frazier, the first and the third, but the second one was a little bit of a stinker.
Yeah,
You know, Barrera and Morales. Now Barrera Morales was real hate,
Yeah,
and
they hate each other.
and
Yeah.
even as adults, it's funny because they do a show together, and on Mexico, and on YouTube, and they still, they're friends, but I don't think it takes much for them to go at each other. So
Damn. I didn't know that. That's crazy.
yes, they do. So it's look. I'm trying to think. Just off of recent memory, trilogies. Yeah, might be it. At least of recent memory. But I think that both guys are kind of like similar in a sense. So they only know one way. I think Conor Benn even more one dimensional, and I think him being the smaller guy, he's going to have to press the action. I think Eubank could make it a stinker if he tries to box, but I think eventually, he's going to go into what's natural.
Even with Bomac in his corner?
Well, I mean, they in April, and this is the second time they work together, right?
Yeah, as far as I know.
Second time. I mean,
middleweight.
The middleweight, right? Let's see. I mean, I don't look. They'll probably emphasize that he shouldn't nullify his height and reach. They may want him to be more on the outside. I wonder if he was part of the camp preparing for Canelo. Crawford. So it's definitely a great camp or gym to be a part of. So let's see. I mean, I would have to lean towards Eubank. As far as the animosity goes, from what I've seen, Eddie Hearn, I think out of everyone in this building, is the one taking it most personal. I don't know if you saw the quote. He did an interview. Because obviously his dad had promoted Eubank back in the day, but they've had a real falling off. So yeah, he talked about. Did you see the interview?
No, I didn't. I know he was trolling with the cue cards, like he had, like in a press conference, he wasn't talking. He kept putting like the cards up to talk.
Right. He was banned from speaking, but he had, off the side of the press conference, he mentioned that he had organized a 60th birthday party for his father. So this was a long time ago, and he wanted to make it a small gathering, and he reached out to Chris Eubank, and according to him, Chris Eubank asked if there was going to be a presentation fee, an appearance fee, and I was like, wow, and the way Eddie Hearn, basically his father promoted him his whole career, and he said, that Eubank came to the offices with holes in his jeans, like it was, and not because it was stylish, it was like he came from literally nothing, and Eddie Hearn's father built him up, so he took it really personal.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
I gotta check that out.
Yeah, it was, I can't remember. It was somewhere on YouTube. I mean, I saw it. Chris Eubank, by the way, who at one point trained in the Bronx.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
Yes, he trained. Yeah, he trained many moons ago. He lived in the Bronx for a short period of time.
Wow, Chris Eubank Sr.
Yes, there's actually a very good documentary. I don't know if have you seen that, D-Free? It was it was done by I think it was probably Sky Sports, but it's worth a watch. It's about 45 minutes. Yeah. So
Chris Eubank, okay.
Yeah, especially if you can't get enough of the Chris Eubank accent. which I can't get enough.
I'm not gonna lie, I can't get enough of it either.
Can't get enough.
But I didn't know that. So like it was early in his career that he lived in the Bronx?
Yes, he did. Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Who was his trainer early on then?
That I would have to ask around. I don't know. But in the documentary, they do mention it. I believe it was out of the old John's gym in around Third Avenue. But you'd have to. It's not that it's they go into a lot of detail, but they do mention it that he lived in the Bronx, New York, for a
It
short
says
period
as
of
a
time.
teenager, when he was like 16 years old.
There you go. Yeah.
Okay. Wow.
In fact,
His mother
you fact
lived
checked
here.
me on the spot, huh?
Yeah, no, I did it while you was talking. I was
Trying to see
typing.
if I was capping, huh?
Yeah, but I mean, I was trying to get some more information. That's
You
all.
thought he was capping, huh?
He lived here as a teenager at age 16.
Mm-hmm.
His father sent him to New York to live with his mother.
Mm-hmm.
During this time, he attended Morris High School. Wow.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
trained at gyms like Jerome Boxing Club.
There you go, Jerome Boxing. That's what I meant to say. Which Jerome's Boxing Club, which actually was not on Jerome, which was on Third Avenue.
Yeah.
The reason I know because my father used to go to that gym, and former world champion from Nigeria used to train out of there, Dick Tiger. Like heavyweight.
You said on Jerome Avenue?
Yeah, it wasn't on Jerome. It was Jerome Boxing Club, but it used to be on Third Avenue, like by what they call the hub area, 149.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow, didn't know that.
Yeah.
That's a great fact.
Yeah. So so the Bronx will be in the house somewhat. and I want are we going to see their white mamas? We haven't seen their white mamas.
Oh man, so why you have to do that?
Oh
Yo,
wow.
you stay doing that shit, man.
I want to see them white queens that produce these beige babies. Because they pops.
I'm done. You're the worst. You're the worst, bro. I swear.
Darkness. Nigel Benn. Are you kidding me? He was the Dr. Troy for a reason. And Chris Eubank. Anyway, listen, you got to have fun.
It's true.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. Good fight.
Big fight. Another interesting. So tomorrow night also is Top Rank has some fighters fighting tomorrow. It's not necessarily a top rank card. They're fighting in Mexico. The featherweight champion, I believe he's the WBO featherweight champion, Espinoza, is going to be defending his title against I think the guy is from Japan. Solid fighter.
Rafael Espinoza?
Rafael Espinoza, yeah. I think he's the WBO featherweight champion.
Yep.
Yeah, he's fighting tomorrow night. Emiliano Vargas is going to be fighting tomorrow night. That's Fernando Vargas' son. And Rick Torres will be fighting tomorrow as well.
I picked the wrong decision on that. I picked Espinoza for a unanimous decision. I meant to pick stoppage. Stoppage.
I was wondering why, but then I thought about it. I was like, the guy never been stopped. I don't think he's ever been dropped either.
Yeah, but he ain't never fought a 6'1", 126-pound fighter neither.
I know.
Yeah,
he's the featherweight Fandora.
Yeah, that man is definitely Fandora in featherweight. This man 6'1". No, the man is taller than me, and he weighs like 80 pounds less than me.
The guy's not undefeated. He's just never been stopped. He's lost twice. He's got 14 knockouts. He's 33 years old. He looks chinito. I thought he was Japanese, but he's.
Did you just say he's 43 years old?
He's 33 years old. 33.
Oh, I'm about to say.
I thought he was
Chinito.
I thought he was from Japan. He looks chinito, but he's from the Ukraine. So he's a Ukrainian fighter. He lost to Joel Gonzalez, a notable name on his resume. He lost a split decision, and his other loss, he lost to Cool Boy. Cool Boy beat him by unanimous decision. And that was at super bantamweight. So he's from looking at his record when I looked at it earlier, he's never been dropped either. So But yeah, I mean, I did pick Espinoza by stoppage, but I thought maybe that's why you picked him by unanimous decision.
Yeah, I picked that. I picked that wrong. I know I'm gonna get that wrong.
I mean, if you get that right, you get the bonus.
I hope he get a unanimous decision, but I know I'm gonna get that wrong. I got Espinoza probably stopping him in the 5th round.
It's going to be interesting how long Espinoza stays at 26.
But as far as much as he could take advantage because he's not taking the big fights. I mean, and Shushu seems like he's not going to go the WBO route. He's going to wait for the WBC route. It looks like, and Steven Fulton has that title, so he's going to wait to see.
I don't understand why they don't make Fulton drop that title. You knew
because
that
they have Vargas as the champion in recess or something like that. It's weird.
Yeah, or put him in champion recess because
Ray Vargas.
No, I mean they should. But I mean you knew that Shushu was about to be the interim champion. Why would you allow him to take the belt to 130? And they were supposed to have that fight months ago. Now that fight is at the end of the year. So I mean,
he's been holding on to the belt for a minute, and they made this guy champion recess, and he hasn't fought since the Nick Ball fight. In a fight where I thought he lost, and they gave him a draw, and he hasn't fought since then. And that was early last year.
And that was my thing. And I said that, and everybody was like, "Do you like to fight if Cool Boy goes fight Oshaki?" I said, "I don't mind the fight, but you was just having back and forth with Shushu. Y'all was going back and forth about Shushu said he want to see you. You said you want to see him, and now you going to 130. I'm like, no, what? If you plan on going to 130, then drop the belt. Let Shushu fight for the belt. If you want to come back down, then you fight Shushu for the belt."
I agree. I mean, and all the delays has just messed it up. So Shushu's probably going to take a fight in between. There was rumors that he was going to fight Ray Vargas, right, to make him the mandatory. But I don't know if that's going to come to light. If that's true, who knows?
Ray Vargas got a fight coming up.
He does?
Yeah, I just saw that the other day on Box Live. He got a fight coming up.
That whole division is just weird because it's a lot of good fighters in that division.
Who are the three?
Let me pull it up. Let me see who he's fighting.
Who
I just saw it on Box Live the other day.
Who are the champions at 26?
Angelo Leo, he's the IBF. He just announced he's going to fight and defend his title in New Mexico, right? It's going to be a home defense.
Yeah.
Rafael Espinosa is WBO.
Right.
Stephen Fulton is the WBC, and Nick Ball is the WBA. Yeah, that's the
WBA.
Yeah, Nick Ball's the other champion.
Yep. I mean, the fight that should be made is the controversial rematch, Ball and Vargas, and make it some sort of unification. Because Ball really got screwed. That was one of the worst decisions of the year. That was almost, 2 years ago?
That was the beginning of last year. I thought it was 2 years ago, but it was like early last year. So
that was on
February or something like that.
Was that like on Tyson Fury and Ngannou? That was one of the.
I think so.
Yeah,
so. It was one of those.
Yeah, that was some real.
That was
robbery. And Nick Ball's a fun fighter to watch.
But Nick Ball's another fighter that Shushu called out, and Nick Ball didn't want to take the fight. Shushu said he would go over there and fight him.
And Monster anyway.
I always take that with a grain. I always take that with a grain of salt, though. Like when
Monster anyway wanted that fight with Nick Ball, and Nick Ball didn't take it.
Yeah, they were trying to work that fight out too. So
that's the reason why Monster anyway is fighting the guy that he's fighting, because Nick Ball didn't want to make that fight.
Yeah, and they're setting up Inoue to fight Nakatani because they're going to be on the same card, and if they both win, they'll fight each other next. So I think that's going to be a good fight.
Yeah,
I mean, shit, it might be the best fight to be made.
Yeah, Monster anyway is fighting November 24th. So he's fighting 2 days after the Brian Norman fight.
Yeah, but that same card, Nakatani's fighting.
Yeah,
Nakatani's moved up in weight. So that's his first fight fighting, I believe.
At 22?
Yeah, Nakatani is the co-main. He's the co-main in that fight.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That the whole fight is built on them meeting up if they both win. That's the whole point of it. The card.
He's fighting Aline. I seen him fight before. I'm trying to remember who I see him fight because the name is very familiar. Aline.
I have to look at it. But yeah, that'll be interesting to see. I believe Nakatani's moving up for that fight.
Are you serious?
What happened?
Tyson Fury is fighting a guy named Webster.
When?
On an undercard.
No, there's no way. They didn't. I haven't heard anything about.
I'm looking at it right now. It says Tyson Fury it says Fury versus Webster. Tyson Fury is the only heavyweight I know from the UK. He's the only heavyweight I know from the UK is Tyson Fury. I don't know no other Fury.
You might be looking at something else. What card are you looking at?
It's the Abram. This is the Abram versus Cross. Abram versus I don't know how you say his last name.
Wait,
K-R-A-U-S.
Are you guys sure, Tom? Are you looking at the right? I have Nakatani fighting in December, but I'm looking at BoxRec. He's fighting December 27th.
Junto Nakatani should be on the same card as
No, I think. I mean, I'm going by BoxRec. I mean, he's fighting.
He's fighting in Riyadh. It's a Saudi Arabia. It's supposed to be a Saudi Arabia card, unless something happens.
No, there's no way. In no way he's going to fight in Saudi Arabia.
No, he's an ambassador of the Riyadh season.
No, I don't think. No, I have here. He's Junto Nakatani is fighting an undefeated Mexican, Sebastian Hernandez Reyes.
Inoue fighting on that card. It's going to be in Saudi Arabia. They named it the Night of the Son of the Samurai. That's what they call it. Ring 5, Night of the Samurai.
Okay, but it's not. Okay, I take it back. But it's December, not November.
Yeah, it's December.
Okay, because I someone has said
on Box Live they got it November 24th.
Okay, all right.
You might be looking at another Nakatani.
Okay, no, you're right. I'm looking at the card right now. We have Nakatani. I mean, we have Inoue.
Yeah,
against David Picasso. Against David Picasso, yeah.
December 27th. But I'm saying, D-Free, you might be looking at the wrong Nakatani.
And you have another Japanese fighter on the rise, undefeated.
No, what I'm saying is, I understand that, but I wasn't looking at Nakatani. I was looking at Inoue. They said Inoue November 24th.
Really?
I wasn't looking at Nakatani.
No. Yeah, he's fighting on that.
Inoue has a brother that fights.
That's right. There's two brothers. There's two Inoue brothers.
Yeah, there's two. It might be Inoue's brother.
I mean, Inoue is also fighting an undefeated David Picasso.
Picasso. I see it now. So,
young guy. He's undefeated.
It must be his brother fighting on the November 24th. Then.
Let me see.
That's an interesting fight. I'm sure this Picasso is going to be a monster underdog, but his last fight was a majority draw against another Japanese fighter.
Where did I see?
Takumi Inoue. That's his brother. He's fighting November 24th. I see it.
Okay.
That's in Japan. Yeah. Okay, I see what you're saying.
I'm looking for this Ray Vargas because I remember seeing it. That's what I was looking for.
No, I saw Ray Vargas. Nothing's lined up for him yet. Yeah, I don't see anything for Ray Vargas. So I don't know what's going on in that weight. What's up? I didn't even see the comments. Huey Fury, that's Tyson Fury's brother. Maybe that's who you're looking at.
He's a heavyweight.
Yeah, Huey Fury. Yeah, the guys.
I did not know that. The only brother of Tyson Fury I knew was Tommy Fury.
Yeah, no, Huey Fury is that was the one that had he has like big curly hair or something like that.
Yeah, I didn't know he had another brother that fought. I just knew Tommy Fury. I didn't know that he had another brother that fought.
Yeah, that's the okay. Yeah, what's up, odd fella? Salute to you. And another one to mention tomorrow. We just I was gonna, I didn't want to be too long on it. We're just mentioning the cards tomorrow. But shout out to my guy, Jan Santana. He's gonna be on the Puerto Rican card tomorrow. Boxeo Boricua quick card. Jan Santana, also in the featherweight division. He's an undefeated fighter. He's managed by my boy and Sox boy, Ricardo Figueroa. He's fighting tomorrow. I believe he's the main event. Dangerous Jan Santana. He's taking on a guy. It's one of those fights. It's not even on Box Rank. So Jan Santana. He's co-promoted. He's promoted by Top Rank, and he's also promoted by Miguel Cotto Promotions. So this is a Miguel Cotto Promotions a card tomorrow night. So tomorrow night, Jan Santana. You can catch that on YouTube. The fights is free. On just search up Cotto Promotions. Miguel Cotto Promotions, and you'll be able to see that fight, Jan Santana. So,
if you're smart, aren't they all free?
Sock.
That's his cousin. Not his brother. Okay.
Okay, he's cousins. He's not the brother. Okay, they cousins.
That's what I'm saying. I knew Tommy Fury was his brother. I didn't know he had another brother.
Oh, I thought they were brothers.
Huey's been around. He's fought in guys like Povetkin. He fought Joseph Parker. He's been around.
I've never heard of him before.
I thought he was his brother. I didn't know he was his cousin.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Hey, I wanted to ask y'all, how did y'all feel about Moses taking the fight with Jermaine Franklin?
Yes.
That's a good fight.
I heard a lot of backlash about it. People wanted him to fight Kabalon, and some people said they wanted him to see him fight, and I don't agree with it. But some people said they wanted to see him fight Richard Torres. I don't think Richard Torres has nothing for Moses, in my opinion.
Oh, you're high on Moses like that?
Yeah. How can you not be?
Hell yeah, over Richard Torres.
Richard Torres, I think, is a solid individual. I don't think he's.
I think Richard Torres is a front runner. Richard Torres remind me of a heavyweight version of daggone Edgar Berlanga.
Wow! Wow! I can't believe. Wow! Hey,
I think he get in there. If he can get in there with somebody that can keep him at bay and use their boxing ability, he gonna get knocked out. He's gonna get knocked out badly.
I mean, we've seen him get knocked out in the Olympics. He got knocked out by that Russian.
In the world.
Oh, in the Worlds, not the Olympics. But he fought the guy again in the Olympic, the gold medal, and then the guy beat him by decision. I think Richard Torres is a solid guy. I mean, he wants to fight. He's the one that called for it.
Yeah, of course, because Moses is a bigger name.
I don't want to fight him too.
My only disappointment. I really wish they would do like the way they did Mike Tyson. Mike Tyson was fighting every other month.
Yeah, I agree.
You know what I mean? When he stopped, what's his name? White, was it 2 rounds?
Who he fought?
No. What's his name? The Jamaican. Dillian White.
Oh, Dillian White. Yeah. He stopped him in like 2 rounds.
He was punched anyway.
But I'm saying like he should have fought. I wish he would have fought another time before the end of this year. But this Franklin is a solid fight, but it's in February.
Yeah, I think it is.
I know it's coming up, but back to Richard Torres. Listen, I know you said he's a bigger name, but he's with Top Rank. He's just Top Rank is going to move him the way Top Rank moves him, so he's still going to get his fights and be built up and put in position to.
They don't have TV right now, so
I think that they're going to eventually have TV.
They're gonna put Richard Torres on Tubi like they did the other fight.
Yeah, well, that's tomorrow. Tomorrow he's going to be on Tubi. I think you guys are a little too hard on Richard Torres. I'm not saying he
should be on Tubi because he's a Temu version my man Tommy Morrison, the TV version of Tommy Morrison. So he should be on Tubi.
That's a good one. You know what? You got it. I'm not even gonna reply to that. That was a good one.
That is a pretty good.
That was good. A man says Huey Fury has been around 10 years, European level fighter. When he steps up to the world level, been easily beat. Yeah, I remember he fought Sam Peter, I think, years ago, right? I think he fought Sam Peter too, right?
He might have. He might have. I would have to cheat and go into boxer, but I know he lost to Povetkin. I know he lost to Joseph Parker. So hey, good for him. I'm always happy for guys that give fights right before Christmas.
Speaking about Joseph Parker, he popped dirty for cocaine.
That's right.
That was the next thing I was going to bring up. So I said, since we're on the heavyweights, what do you guys feel about my man Joseph Parker with the powder?
Cocaine's a hell of a drug.
Hey.
Wow.
Hey.
And Sock, you brought up a good point when we was talking on the phone earlier. Repeat that point about what you're saying about cocaine and
cocaine stays in your system only for like 2 or 3 days. So for him to pop
in your urine, but
and that's what they test. Like they're not pulling hairs, So, but I mean that's why Joseph Parker's a wild boy. I mean,
he must have took a couple of lines at least at the minimum 3 days ago.
Yeah, or maybe a bump before before the walkout, for that little stimulant,
I mean, he close friends with Tyson Fury, so hey.
Yeah. I think he might have dipped into the stash. They might have switched gym bags one day. My man came out like Uma Thurman and like Uma Thurman came out the bathroom. God damn.
Yeah. Hey.
I'm shocked. I'm shocked at this. I mean,
in Pulp Fiction.
You know what? I mean, if you think about it,
same thing happened to Tyson. He popped dirty for cocaine.
Yeah.
and daggone David Benavidez.
Mm-hmm.
So they all taking some lives right before the fight.
Yeah.
I'm in love with the coke. Salute to anybody doing coke in 2025. You really do not give a fuck. Like you are, like in 2025 doing coke. Shit.
Hey.
It's crazy because he came in not in the best of shape too, right?
Yeah.
He took this fight. He didn't have to take this fight. He came in.
You wouldn't be in the best of shape neither. You just took a couple of lines. You wouldn't be in the best of shape.
Yo, that's wild, man. I want to hear more about this. I mean, and with the findings and I think he can choose so they can check the B sample, which is going to show the same thing. It's interesting to hear what Joseph Parker says. I mean,
no, but see, this is I mean, not only did that he got 2 whammies. Not only did he lose the fight, but then you popped dirty. You was the interim champion. You took a fight with Fabio. You lose that fight, and then you pop dirty.
And your gas tank ran out late in the fight. Shouldn't that kept you up?
It depends when you took it.
It depends on it. Yeah, that's true.
I mean, look. He's got money. He's supposed to be taking the good shit, like that Mick Jagger shit.
Oh my God, man!
So he would have ended up losing his belt anyway. Because he would have popped dirty for cocaine. They would have stripped him of the belt. So he would have lost his belt anyway.
I can't. But
crazy.
No, was it Mike Tyson and fucking Polish motherfucker. What's the thing?
I'll tell you what. You want to know? Who I think well, we've heard that did cocaine. Before fights. Yeah!
The GOAT.
I mean, I don't think it's a secret. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? I don't think it's a secret.
Pernell Whitaker. Pernell Whitaker. He said in an interview that he was skiing before the Olympics.
Yeah.
So you know,
I don't think he's ever got caught. I mean, I think they found cocaine at other not in a fight though, like not before a fight. I think didn't he get busted with cocaine one time?
But see, the thing is, back then, cocaine was the thing to do.
Well, that's what Sock said. You know, who's doing it in 2025?
Like,
you know, but back in the 80s and the early 90s.
Yeah.
I mean, I ain't in the streets no more, so I guess it's still the thing to do.
Maybe it's something to do in where's he from? Australia or New Zealand? Where's he from?
But I think he lives in the UK. No,
it's possible.
So how many UK fighters have popped dirty within the last like 3 years?
Yeah, and he does hang out with Tyson Fury a lot, and you know Tyson Fury likes to, you know, hit the powder too. So
yeah, you know, hey,
that's crazy.
Let's see what happens. You know, I mean,
if they let Dillian White come back after popping dirty about 17 times, they're gonna let him come back too.
Well, Vetkin is another one.
But I mean, would that fall under the the PD performance?
I guess it depends on the sanction.
Because that's what they stripped David Benavidez for.
Yeah.
But I mean, is he going to face a suspension, a fine? I mean, I think it's up to the sanctioning body for, you know, it was the fight.
It's going to be a suspension and probably a fine on top of it, but it's definitely going to be a suspension.
Crazy.
I don't know how long, but because, you know, when you're dealing with those guys over there in the UK, for some reason, they always find a way to get around it.
Yeah, or they come to the States somehow and get fights. Tyson Fury did it. Conor Benn did it. I don't know.
They always find a way around it.
Yeah. Anyway, moving on. I want to move on to a little bit of next week. Next week is a big card back in Saudi Arabia. One of the particular fights, I did a video earlier on today, and it's part of the title here. Brian Norman Jr. Discredited. More and more, I've been seeing people on YouTube chats, Twitter quotes, Twitter posts, talking about how bad of a fighter Brian Norman Jr. is. Now, it's not, I don't think it's because it's Brian Norman Jr. and questioning him as being a paper champion or questioning him as a fighter. I think it's talk because he is the opponent of their favorite fighter, Devin the Dream Haney. And it's just gotten really ridiculous. I mean, I've seen, you know, we went through this with the Tank fans. Tank Davis fans is just insane, you know, and now it seems like we're going through this now with, you know, the Devin Haney fans, where it's just gotten really out of line, and it's gotten crazy. I've heard things as like this guy is a bum, you know, and you know what? I'm okay with fighters calling other fighters bums and calling them ass, like, you know, Devin Haney posted. I have no problem with that. That's fighters supposed to talk shit. You know, I'm not okay with fans calling other fighters bums when you haven't been in a ring to take punches. But calling a guy a bum, calling him manufactured, calling him a steroid cheat is the latest I've been hearing, calling him a quitter. I mean, I don't know where this comes from. And I just think it's totally insane. When Devin Haney fought George Kambosos, he didn't get this much disrespect. When he fought Lomachenko didn't get this much respect. Mind you, it is Lomachenko. Lomachenko's a, you know, possible Hall of Famer, right? When he fought Jose Ramirez didn't get this much credit. Jose Ramirez is a former unified champion, right? Kambosos is obviously former unified champion, you know, but his biggest win was an upset against Tio, you know, but yet they didn't get it. Ryan Garcia, never been a world champion. Ryan Garcia didn't get this much hate until after the fight. Before the fight, you didn't hear this much hate about Ryan Garcia. The only thing you did hear was that maybe he was a quitter because he took a knee and he lost to Tank Davis. So you did hear that. but it hasn't been this bad for the stuff that I've been hearing. When he fought Jojo Diaz, same thing. I just think what I've been hearing now about Brian Norman Jr., I think he's a nice kid. I've met him in person, country guy from the ATL area. He represents the ATL, and I think they discrediting him is just insane. When you look at his resume, yeah, it's not the same as a Devin Haney, right? Devin Haney's fought the top guys, especially his last few fights. You cannot debate that. But if you look at, they say that he's manufactured by Top Rank. He signed with Top Rank in 2022. He got 2 fights, probably gimme fights, and then he had to fight with Randall for like a one of those divisional titles, low grade titles. When you win, you get ranked in the top 10, top 15. He got the fight with Randall. I thought he dominated in a competitive way. I thought it was a competitive fight, but he won a unanimous decision against Randall, right? After that, he had to fight with Boca Chica. Boca Chica, tough guy, tough Puerto Rican fighter. He dropped, but they cut fight, and they didn't continue. So they said he's a quitter. The next fight he gets with Santillan in San Diego. That was a home fight for Santillan. Most people believe, I kind of believe it as well, that Top Rank was setting Brian Norman to lose. Right? He was the underdog going against Santillan. Santillan was supposed to win the title that night. But Brian Norman went in there. He stopped the guy. He dominated the guy, beat him easy, did what he did. And yet he goes on two title defenses, one after an injury. Mind you, remember, the first title defense was against Cuevas, right? He was coming off an injury. Cuevas was hadn't fought in like a year. So soft defense. Okay, fine. But at the same time, he came off of an injury and he just had surgery, I believe, on his hand. I believe it was on his left hand, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong. And then he went over to Japan. Going overseas is not easy it's not an easy thing to do. I don't care who it is. Sasaki, he's not a big name, but you still went overseas in another guy's hometown in Japan, and you did what you did. I think you deserve some type of credit for what I just said for those fights. But yet they're diminishing. He has fought nobodies. They're a bunch of bums. What do you guys think as far as the let's call it banter, right? The banter that Brian Norman has faced over the last few weeks leading up to this fight next week?
I think for the Devin Haney fans' sake, Devin Haney better go out here and dominate this guy. Because if Devin Haney gets stopped by Brian Norman after y'all just sat here and called this man a bum, what that makes Devin Haney? Not only if Devin Haney gets stopped, but if Devin Haney gets beat up badly and gets stopped, what that makes Devin Haney? Y'all call this man a bum. He ain't fought nobody, this, and that. And then he goes out here and he gets beat up badly and gets stopped. So for Devin Haney fans' sake, I hope Devin Haney goes out here and beat this guy convincingly. Not to mention, after the fight is over, if Devin Haney wins, they said all this about Brian Norman. All this stuff. He hasn't fought nobody. He's a bum. The guys that he did beat, they wasn't nobody. After Devin Haney goes out here and he gets the win, are we supposed to give Devin Haney credit if y'all said all these things about him? That's what I don't understand. Because y'all say all these things, and then the person goes out there and beat him, and y'all want us to give them all this credit. No, we're not supposed to give them credit. They did what they were supposed to do. According to what y'all said, they did what they were supposed to do. So why would I have to give them credit? You're not going to give me credit for waking up and going to work every day. That's what I'm supposed to do. That's not something I get credit for. So if you go out here and beat somebody who's not even that, according to y'all, he don't even belong in the ring with Devin Haney. He's a bum and he's all of these things. I shouldn't have to give Devin Haney credit. Devin Haney should just take that win and move on and try to unify the title. He shouldn't be looking for credit. So I just don't understand it when you discredit the fighter and then after the fight you want all this credit for the fight that you discredit. You want credit for a fighter that you discredit. Don't make sense to me.
It doesn't. In my mind, it doesn't make sense. It's okay to stick up for your fighter, but I don't understand why you can't build up both fighters and build up this fight the way the card has been built up, because this is a fire card. It's a great card, a good undercard. That's not even the main event, it's more of the co-main event, but it could be the main event. Be the main event anywhere else. Why not build it up? Sock, what's your thoughts on it?
I've never cared much for Devin Haney. He's the only blemish he had. Well, I'm not gonna say the only. I still don't believe he should have got the decision against Lomachenko. And then PDs or whatnot. The world saw him get beat up by Ryan Garcia. I don't think much of Devin Haney. I really don't. I think he still has a lot to prove. I think his personality is he's just I don't know. Devin Haney doesn't seem like he seems like very insecure. Like he has these diamond studs in his teeth, right? And every interview he's cracking a smile like a crocodile. Like, nigga, we see what you got in your mouth. He dresses like a clown. He's like Seth Rollins. And you see him in the street, and then at the face-to-face whatever promotion, he's quoting Floyd Mayweather. He's still riding his tip after Floyd totally, just played him. Right?
Yeah.
He was.
It's funny. I'm sorry to cut you off. I never mentioned that too. It's a good point, because a lot of people saying it's okay to quote the great ones and stuff like that, but Floyd shitting on Dev.
He's a cornball. He's a simp. He's a simp. Isn't he? Just I know. Okay, it has nothing to do with boxing. It's his personal life. He's trying to get the ring back from this chick that he thought loved him, right? But boxing is one of the few sports or competition taps into your personal, your DNA, because it takes you to a dark place. It takes you to that place where your true self comes out. So I think Devin has to prove something to me. I don't think he's an elite fighter, and Brian Norman, I want to see if he brings back some not so pleasant memories, once he gets cracked, like he did against Ryan Garcia. I want to see how he reacts. I'm really rooting hard for Brian Norman. I think he's a throwback type of fighter. He's on a 4-fight knockout streak. He doesn't come with this monster entourage, right? It's the one-man gang, Jolene, and his dad. That's it.
Why are you gonna do that, Sock?
Because Jolene was ready to thump.
Yeah, that's true.
She was ready to thump with that Pop-Tart bodyguard that they walk around with. Hard on the outside, soft on the in. He's.
You're a clown, man.
You call me a clown. I ain't got no red nose. I'm just speaking. You tell me if I said one lie. I didn't.
Well, first off, I think you're discrediting Devin Haney. I gotta say.
How?
Because for you to say that he's not an elite fighter is kind of messed up. Because
look, he's got some nice names on his resume. Look,
and nobody else is doing that.
The Prograis fight, right? He won't. He's not the first. He won't be the last, right? It's when you fight fighters, right? But okay, the Prograis fight, he won a little easier than I thought he would. But Prograis is really shot. He is done, And hey, he did it. The Lomachenko fight, look, he got the decision win because he's the guy that the establishment could still milk more money out of. Lomachenko is on his way out. So basically, Lomachenko was the victim of the establishment. Remember, judges score fights for the future. Not the present. So I think he still has to prove that he's an elite fighter. I stand on that.
Yeah.
He looked like
I said from the time they made this fight, and I still at it right now. This fight is a 50-50 fight for me. I haven't made a decision who I believe is going to win this fight yet. I probably won't make a decision until the night of the weigh-in because I can see avenues for both guys winning this fight. I can see Brian Norman being something that Devin Haney didn't expect, and I can see Devin Haney going out there and being a boxer that every all his. So it it's a 50-50 fight because either guy can win. It's in my opinion, I don't think it's going to be a one-sided fight. It very well could be. I just don't think that it will be. I think a lot of people are overlooking what Brian Norman has done in the sport. Yes, he has moments where he didn't look as good, but if you haven't been paying attention to Brian Norman, you wouldn't notice the improvement of Brian Norman. Brian Norman has improved every single fight, and I was one of the ones that said
when I first seen him fight, I was like, I need to see more Brian Norman. He hasn't shown me anything. And BVO will tell you, he was like, "Oh, you hating on Brian Norman?" I said, "No, I'm telling you, I haven't seen anything that I am impressed with." Now I've seen Brian Norman grow. He's still not at the best fighter, but I've seen him grow. I've seen him improve. So the Brian Norman that I seen 5 or 6 fights ago is not the same Brian Norman that I seen when he fought. I'm not even going to count the Japanese guy, but when he fought Chantilly. He's not the same guy that I seen that fight Chantilly. That guy that I saw fight Chantilly is a guy that improved from when I first seen him. So I think a lot of people is overlooking what Brian Norman can do in the ring. And I think they might end up being surprised if Brian Norman goes out here and do what I think he's capable of doing.
I mean, he's on a 4-fight knockout streak. You know, he's gotten better. If you're buying stock between the two, who's looked better the last 2 years?
Yeah, but then the counter question to that is what the subject is.
Mhm.
You know, where people discrediting Brian Norman, the counter is that against who?
Well, the counter is that the welterweight division is at its weakest that it's been in a long time.
And I've said that.
Devin Haney was in deeper weight classes with more star names. So yes, if you want to say he's got better names, absolutely. Look, Norman is not beating. You know, he hasn't stopped Donald Curry, Marlon Starling.
Yeah,
and you know, he's not doing that. But if the two look, Ramirez was shot, and Devin Haney looked very bad. You know, so and I think Brian Norman's going to take him to a place that's going to give him some bad memories. Now, I don't want to see a Brian Norman try to outbox, like try to prove something to Devin Haney. Like,
and that's the thing too.
Yeah.
Well, that version of Devin Haney that I seen in there with Jose Ramirez, a guy that was not letting his hands go. I don't think that version of Devin Haney can beat Brian Norman. I don't care how much he moves around the ring. I don't think that version can beat Brian Norman because there was moments where Jose Ramirez could have let his hands go. He just didn't.
Yeah.
So I just from what I've seen of Devin Haney last, I can't say, oh yeah, he's gonna go out there and stop Brian Norman. What? You talking about the same guy that wasn't really that really didn't let his hands go against a guy that wasn't throwing punches, and now he's gonna get in there with somebody that don't care about getting hit in the face?
Someone with a less than 50% knockout ratio is going to all of a sudden stop Brian Norman. No.
That's what people have been saying. They said that Devin is going to stop him at 5, 6, 7.
Who are these
things? They've been saying this for Devin for the last 6 years. And I told you, at some point, they're going to be correct.
Yeah, and it could happen. It could happen next week. It's boxing. Anything can happen. You know, you hit somebody at the right spot at the right time. They're going down. It don't matter if you got listen, Paulie Malignaggi didn't have the best hands in the world as far as power, and he had some knockouts. It happens. Like if you hit him at the right time, the right spot, you're going down. So maybe they will get lucky, and maybe it might happen. Maybe it might be the same type of punch that caught Brian Norman when he got knocked down by Boca Chica because he came coming in, he got caught with a nice straight right hand. If Devin does the same thing, Norman could go down as well. It could happen. I just don't see it happening based on the version of Devin Haney we've seen in the last like 3-4 years. The last 3 or 4 years, it doesn't show me that he can do that. You
Is
know,
Devin gonna?
happen, but there's no what's the word? There's no proof in what Devin Haney's done in his last like six fights, to say the least, that says that, you know what, because of the way he fought this guy or that guy, he's gonna stop Brian Norman. No.
And this is what I don't understand. Like they said, oh, well, Devin Haney is fight more at his normal weight in this fight. He's only 3 pounds off of what he fought in the last fight. I didn't see him throw no power in the last fight. He fought at 144, and they rehydrated to wherever they wanted to rehydrate to.
Yeah,
it wasn't no catch weight. I mean, it wasn't no weight calls in that. It was a catch weight, but it wasn't no weight calls.
Yep.
So he's fighting 3 pounds heavier than when he fought in his last fight. He's still going to blow up to whatever he wants to blow up to. So if he couldn't stop Jose Ramirez, who didn't hit the canvas multiple times in his career, he hit the canvas twice in a fight with daggone Josh Taylor. So this man has hit the canvas before. I didn't see Devin Haney trying to throw a shot to knock Jose Ramirez out. Now you expect me to believe that he's going to try to throw a shot to knock out Brian Norman? What's different from Jose Ramirez and Brian Norman?
I don't get it. I don't get it at all. And this is what people have been saying. And I'm just like, you're not giving me any proof or, any realistic, facts behind what is an opinion as to why it may happen. You're just saying, because he's bigger or because he's filling out his frame more. Listen, I do believe that Devin Haney is going to come in a lot stronger than before. Like he fill his frame. And from people that I spoke with that been in the ring with Dev as far as sparring, they say this. They say that Devin Haney is a strong fighter. You'll be shocked to see how strong he really is, especially on the clinches and on the inside. But what they also say is his punching power is something to not worry about. And this is guys that have been in the ring. I haven't been in the ring with Devin Haney, so I don't know how hard he punches. I may think he punches hard because I'm not a fighter. You know what I'm saying? So, like, if it was my first time in the ring and it's against Devin Haney, I'm going to probably think he's a big puncher. But this is what other professional fighters that have been in the ring with him, which is 2 of them, have said. So, going off of that and going off his last 5-6 fights, there's nothing that tells me that he's going to stop Brian Norman in 6 or 7. So it's just crazy. It's just crazy.
Yeah,
I think
he's got hand speed. I mean, he's got hand speed. The punch that hurts, the punch you can't see, right?
Yes.
I think the extra weight, it will allow for punch resistance. Look, he dropped Regis Prograis,
Yes.
but then he decided to coast and get the decision, as opposed to showing that killer instinct. Look, if you talk about him to knock somebody out, you have to commit to a shot.
Yes.
I don't think he's going to do that to Brian Norman. Like my only thing, I just don't want to see Brian Norman try to prove something to Devin Haney that I can box with you. Then I think that's when we're going to have trouble. I think Brian Norman needs to fight a Brian Norman type of fight. He needs to make it uncomfortable. Show him he's the natural welterweight. Take it to Devin Haney. Have no regard to Haney's punching power because Norman is the B side of the fight. I think a close decision will go to Haney.
Yes.
So he's got to go in with that underdog mentality. Norman's ribs are touching. He hasn't seen big money yet. I want him to fight like the guy that's got something to prove. He's also the younger guy. He's also the guy that's with less miles. Devin Haney took a beating not too long ago. He needs to impose his will on Devin Haney as soon as the fight starts.
Yeah, I agree 1,000%. I think he's got to sell out a few times in this fight. I think if I gave Brian Norman any chance, because I made my prediction already and I'm going to stick with it. I got Devin Haney winning a unanimous decision in a competitive fight. I think Brian Norman will have moments in the fight, but if Brian Norman is going to have any chance, it's going to come in the second half of the fight, where I think Devin Haney makes a lot more mistakes, and where his defense lacks in the second half of fights.
Yes.
He's been hurt. He's been hurt in second half of the fights by multiple fighters. Linares being one of them where, he almost pitched a shutout, and Linares caught him. Even Kambosos in the second fight. I'm not saying Kambosos hurt him, but Kambosos was landing more in that second fight. And, that rematch should have been a wash after the first fight. Who else in the second? Lomachenko hurt Devin Haney in the second half of the fight. So Ryan Garcia, the two knockdowns, was in the 10th and 11th or 9th and 10th. I'm not sure, those back-to-back rounds, but they were late. So, if Brian Norman is going to have to capitalize on those mistakes, because you can make mistakes and then, the other fighter may not capitalize. That's where Brian Norman was going to have his chance. I think it's going to come in the second half. Those people predicting Brian Norman to win by early stoppage, I'm not saying it's not going to happen, but I just don't see it that way. I just don't see it. I think Devin Haney is very disciplined, especially in the beginning of the fight. So we'll see. I'm very interested in it. I just don't like, when fighters get discredited the way they are, especially when there were other fighters got treated way better than what he's being treated. And I just think it's just messed up. That's just me. That's my opinion. I stand on it. I don't like the steroid claims that are coming out now, saying that Brian, the reason he's got those knockouts because he was on juice. Where does this come from? He's never tested positive for anything. So
I don't know. Like I said, I don't understand why you got to tear down the fighter and then you turn around and you want credit for it. That I never understood, and that's why Floyd Mayweather said, "No, I'm not. You're not going to tear down none of my fights that I fought. All those guys were great fighters. And none of them. I don't care how bad you thought they were. They were great fighters when I fought them. They can be bad after, but when I fought them, they were great fighters. So I just don't understand it because I can guarantee you if Devin Haney wins this fight, 95% of his fans were, oh yeah, we beat Brian Norman. But y'all said Brian Norman was a bum.
Yeah.
Now,
Y'all told me he was a bum.
Now, if we could, I always try to be objective. The guy that called everybody a bum, but I think it was a different era, was Ali. Ali always called everybody a bum.
But I have no problem with that. I said that earlier. When fighters call other fighters bums, I have no problem with that.
George, he would call everybody bum. He'd have nicknames for him, but I think it was a different era that, the promotion of the fight was basically through the fighter, not through.
The difference is Ali said it. He made the fighters look like a bum. That was the difference. Ali made them look like bums.
I just don't like when content creators and fans and
that's what they are. They're fans.
I don't like when they say
they're fans. They're not journalists. They just everyone's got one of these shits that we're on. Right? Everyone's got a fucking cell phone with a camera. And
no, it's true. But when you're talking boxing and you're talking about the sport of boxing and you like the sport of boxing, calling fighters bums kind of discredits you, in my opinion.
Like I said, you can't discredit a fighter and then turn around and want credit.
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense at all.
No. He did what you're supposed to do, right?
Right. You doing what you're supposed to do. You put down this fighter and say this fighter is nothing. This fighter is a bum. He doesn't have good footwork. He doesn't have defense. He doesn't do this. He doesn't do that. And then you go out there and beat him. Oh, where my credit at? For what? Against a guy that you said that didn't have anything. How am I supposed to give you credit for that? No, I give you credit for you doing something that I didn't expect you to do, or something that I thought would be a difficult job for you to do. That's what you get credit for. You don't get credit for doing something that was easy. I'm not gonna give my kids credit for making their bed. That's something they were supposed to do. You're supposed to make your bed every morning when you wake up. I'm not gonna give you credit. Oh, hey, good job making your bed. No, that's what you're supposed to do. I go in that room and I see that bed ain't made, then bed ain't made. You're supposed to make your bed.
Yeah. But I don't really have anything else. I just wanted to touch up on that. We're going to talk more about that card next week when it gets here. But But we made our predictions for tomorrow night. Tomorrow night's going to be a good card.
Nothing.
Huh?
I said Jack Catterall was fighting. They're kind of a crossroads fight.
Yeah, this is a big fight. He's fighting the guy that beat Josh Taylor.
Yeah.
I believe Jack Catterall wins easy. But D3 went opposite. He picked the other guy.
I think Jack Catterall gonna lose.
He might.
I didn't like what I saw from Jack Catterall in his last fight. I didn't like what I saw. I think Jack Catterall is on the decline. I think his highest he had that robbery against Josh Taylor.
Yeah, he would have been undisputed.
Yeah, I think that was his highest point. And
Yeah.
since then, he hasn't looked like the same Jack Catterall that we saw in that first fight. Even the second fight when he got the Josh Taylor, he won, but he still didn't look as impressive as he did that first fight.
What about when he beat up Regis?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, but that's what I said. I just don't. I've been seeing a decline in Jack Catterall since that Josh Taylor won. Since that Josh Taylor won, I've been seeing a decline, and it could have been because he got robbed and it took all of the confidence out of him. But it's been a decline in him.
Yeah, that was one of the big robberies that we've had in a long time. It happens, man. When the establishment fucks you, it's hard to recover.
Yeah. Well, this is the second fight at welterweight, so let's see. I mean, the first fight was something happened. He stopped the fight because somebody got hurt. I think somebody got cut in the head, but he won the fight, technical decision. Now it's the second fight, and I just don't think this guy is any good. I just thought Josh Taylor was just there to get beat up on. He was done, and he retired after the fight. But Iko Isumin or Esimin or whatever, I don't know how to pronounce it. But I think Jack Catterall is going to win easy tomorrow night.
You could. But I got to make up some ground, so I got to go against.
You got to go against me. I'm in first place for now, Sock. Tomorrow may change because people are catching up to me. I've been in first place for most of the fight. We're in a fight pool, and most of the year I've been in first. I don't even know when it ends. Do you know when it ends? Is it after next week?
Or maybe I don't even know.
Does it end? I mean, boxing is an all-year-round sport.
They break it up, I think, in quarters or like half a year or something.
Yeah, so we ain't got number one more month left. It should go to the end of the year.
So I feel like it's going to end in December because this is the second fight pool I've been in with them. The first one I was in, they already crowned the champion, and they took like the summer off, and then we started
the last fight of the year. Whatever the last fight of the year is, it should go to that point, and then whoever's the winner is the winner.
Yeah, and there's some good fights. I mean, like I said, next week is another good card, some tough fights. So the fights we had to pick this one, Sock, just so you know, was Eubank and Benn, Jack Catterall, Rafa Espinoza, and the Kurt Scobie fight.
I think Scobie's losing.
You got the Scobie.
I think Scobie's losing.
Yeah,
me too. I picked them to lose. I picked them to get stopped.
Mm-hmm.
So you got Scobie in there. You got Jack Catterall. You got Espinoza, and you got Conor Benn.
Okay. Sock, how you see that fight going?
At the end of the year, I mean, December 16th, we got the Lamont Roach and the Oshaki fight with Cool Boy. You got Lamont Roach with Pitbull. So that's a good card they got right there.
Yeah.
And you got Antoine on that card as well.
Did we touch base on last week?
Virgil Ortiz and Lubin?
Yeah.
No, we briefly, maybe a few seconds, but
I mean, that was something, I mean, either way, I mean, whoever you had winning, I don't think you saw that ending so quick.
Yeah. No, I don't think anybody picked it to go that early.
That was, I mean,
I think BVO said he was going to beat him to death, but I don't know if he picked him that early, to be honest. But for the most case, I think a lot of people picked Ortiz to win late, and there were a few people that picked Lubin.
Yeah, I had Ortiz stopping Lubin in the ninth round. Nobody picked the second round. That nobody. I didn't see a single person. Matter of fact, I haven't seen anybody pick Ortiz earlier than the 6th round. I think the 6th round might have been the earliest stoppage I've seen.
That
Yeah, I
was
think yeah.
that was impressive. That was a statement. Uh, and I think we've seen the last of Lubin on the elite level. If he wants to continue, he's going to be that stepping stone guy.
Yep.
Yeah, but he also he had Ortiz at 9. I had Ortiz at 9 as well.
Yeah, I don't think anybody saw it happening that early, which is second round is pretty impressive. I didn't like the game plan Lubin did. I mean, I don't understand what he was doing, volunteering himself to go into the ropes and lean on the ropes. It's not like Ortiz put him there.
He might be a shot fighter now. I mean,
Yeah.
I said it a couple of fights too early. I think Erson Lubin might be a gatekeeper at this point, but that was when he was fighting
Yeah.
Jesus Ramos, and
Yeah.
he had a couple of wins. He had the Jesus Ramos win, which I believe was a robbery, and
Me
then
too.
he had the Holmes win. So I think I might have said it just a little bit too early.
Yeah. Yeah.
Stock, let me ask you a question. Only because we're big fans of Shushu here. A New York fighter out of Brooklyn, Brownsville. He's coached by K. Karoma. That's his trainer. K. Karoma is a trainer of Lubin, and I don't know what the game plan was, but I mean, you have to take some sort of responsibility as a trainer, having your fighter, going against the ropes. I mean, I don't understand the strategy game plan, but
I don't.
he did that from the first round. How
I don't.
concerned or worried are you? Sorry, Defer, and Defer, you could answer this too. How concerned are you with him being, the trainer of Shushu with the game plan that he had with Lubin? I just, I'm worried for
I
Shushu.
don't. I don't. I don't know. I don't know if you put that on the trainer because all trainers tell their fighters to stay off the ropes. I don't think you can put that on the trainer. The fighter goes to the ropes because either they feel more comfortable or they feel like their legs is out. So they go to the ropes to have that stability to keep them standing up. So I don't know if you can put that on the trainer because I've never heard a trainer say, "Hey, get on the ropes and box off the ropes." They all say, "Stay off the ropes, stay off the ropes. Don't go to the ropes. Keep them in the middle of the ring." That's what most trainers tell all their fighters to do that. So I don't know if you can put that on the trainer.
Okay, Sock, did he freeze? I think he's frozen.
That might have froze.
Yeah, he frozen.
At first I thought he was listening, but then I see he hasn't moved in a while. I think he
Yeah.
might have froze.
Before Sock comes in, I haven't heard anything or any interviews. I mean, Lubin has made a statement, but nothing, but no interviews as far as what the game plan was, what they were going to, what they, what was their strategy for the fight and what went wrong so early. I'd be interested to hear that. I just thought about it because, K. Karoma, that's 2 losses I've seen him have so far. I'm not sure who else he coaches, but Sandy Ryan lost. And now, Lubin. But go ahead, Sak. You froze. We didn't hear anything you said.
I apologize. A little flash knockdown. Yeah, look, I think kind of like what D Free says. I don't know if I'm going to put it completely on the trainer, but guys, once they hit a certain point in their career, start developing bad habits in the gym, and being on the ropes. Either you get lazy, and credit to Ortiz because Ortiz showed some real science there. That shot because we were watching the fight together, but we were in the middle of a domino game, so it's not like we were sitting down studying it. But when you watch the replay, when he hit or before he, the shot that hurt Lubin, he had swatted his hand away out of that high guard and hit him with a right cross, which is a shot that a southpaw doesn't see. So credit to Ortiz. It's not like it was well placed. Um, Karoma has that reputation of being a good coach. I think the record. I think the jury's still out. I think he's coached good talent, right? He was also coaching Isley, the dude out of Chicago. And I don't know if anybody peeped it, but Troy Isley had posted, and I just sent it to you, Tom, a screenshot of his Instagram where he had a snake, a picture of a snake, and Karoma with a picture of Karoma, and then he took it down. So his people have questioned his integrity as a person. So I wonder,
Well, I didn't see what you sent me, but he made a statement, Isley. I think he said that was the worst strategy you can make. How you going to do that? So he did say something about K Karoma.
Right, but he also put on his personal Instagram. He took a personal shot at Karoma. He called him a snake.
Wow.
He put an emoji of a snake. I sent you a screenshot on WhatsApp a second ago, so you can check that out. So and the whole drama with Michaela Mayer. So I don't know. It's easy to take credit when you win, right? Great coach when you win, but I guess you got to take a hit when you lose. Credit to Robert Garcia. Robert Garcia he's a very humble guy, but he cranks out winners, and he's a former world champion. And I don't know if anybody saw what he did when Lubin was out on his feet. He was the first trainer in the ring.
Yeah.
With the stool. He didn't even go to Virgil.
Yeah.
Okay. Where was Karoma? And he was physically closer to his fighter than Garcia, because Garcia went across the ring.
Yeah.
So, credit to Robert Garcia, who is one of the elite trainers, right? He's got Virgil Ortiz, he's got Bam, he's also coaches Bam Rodriguez, right?
Yep.
He's and obviously, he's helped with his brother, who is a former world champion. He's a humble guy. He's got a great stable in Oxnard. And now the world awaits what's next, right? I mean, we're in this microwave generation. Like, people, right away. Okay, what's next? The boots fight, right? Instead of laying back and giving Ortiz his props, for destroying Lubin right away. It's like the paint's not even dry yet. They're all calling for Virgil Ortiz and Ennis. Hopefully it happens within the next 9 months. You don't want it to marinate to the point that they're old and shit. But I think Ortiz had a great win. And I think he's a problem for anybody. I really do. I think he's a problem.
Okay.
For Boots.
I want to go back on the K Karoma. I mean, we've heard. I don't know if you heard it. I've heard it. Some people just think he's not to be trusted. And I will point out this: like Lubin seems like he's a nice guy. He gets along with everybody. This was his third trainer in 3 fights.
Right.
His last fight he had Mark Ferret. Mark Ferret was there to support Lubin, so the relationship between him and Mark is good. Maybe I don't know why he wanted to switch trainers. I mean, maybe it was a style thing or who knows, but he still has a good relationship with Mark Ferret. He was there. He was at the fight. I don't know if you noticed that, but he was there in support of Erickson Lubin in that fight. So
no, I didn't know that, but yeah.
He was there. He was there front row. So as far as Virgil Ortiz and Boots, I mean, I think Virgil is a fighter. I think he wants to fight all the top guys. I truly believe that, but I just think Oscar, his manager, they just want to go a different direction. They're the ones that make the decisions. I know Virgil can demand a fight if he really wants it. I believe he does, but Oscar already talking about, they want to do this, and then the manager's talking about it better begin with like 8 digits if you want to talk about fighting Virgil. So that's going to look like a duck.
He can make money without an Ennis fight.
If it's in Texas.
Yeah, I mean, they're normally. I mean, he fights pretty much in the same region.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Anywhere else, he's not going to make the money like that. But yeah, if
that's Texas, the thing. Oscar and his manager was doing a whole lot of talking, and now it looks like when they saw Boots face off with Virgil, they looked at Boots was like, hold up, this dude is bigger than what we expected.
Nah, I don't think that. I don't think. I mean, they know what Boots is. I mean, I don't think it's that. Now, I will say this. I mean, Virgil did call Boots out into the ring. He said, he called him out by name.
Yeah.
Now, it was interesting. He had mentioned that his dream fight was always Errol Spence.
Yeah, I mean,
No, I don't think anyone's falling for that.
No, Boots to come here. He's like, Boots, come here. Boots is like, I'm already here. So I mean, because I told the guys the other day, I said what a lot of people don't realize is Boots' plane was canceled, so he had to find another way to get to Texas, and he made it his business to make sure he was going to be in Texas. He told everybody, "I'm gonna be there, and I'm getting in that ring," and he made it his business to get there because his plane got canceled, and so because of the government shutdown, they canceled his flight, and so he still found another way to get there. I don't know if they rented a private jet or if they drove all the way to Texas, but he found his way down there.
Yeah.
I thought Eddie Hearn did something pretty funny. I think it was on Twitter. He put, when they landed in Texas, they put boots on the ground. So I thought that was pretty witty.
Listen, I think they both want to fight now. They both took tune-ups at 154 before fighting, a top guy. Let's not forget Virgil, when he went up to 154, he had a couple of tune-ups before he fought Boacek, and before he fought what's the guy, Majimov, and now Lubin. So Boots now for his first fight, 154, he had a tune-up. Okay, fine, it's over and done with. I don't necessarily agree with it, but the time is now to make that fight. And I believe both fighters want to fight, but the suits have other plans. And it's a little bit unfortunate. I think it's a 50-50 fight. And the reason why I say that, I mean, let me rephrase that. I think it's, in my opinion, it's 55-45. Or maybe let's do 51-49 in favor of Boots. I think Boots has more skills than Virgil, but I think Virgil has more pop. And his style is difficult to fight against, I don't know. I don't think it's an easy fight. I don't think it's an easy fight for either or. Some people say that he's tailor-made. I don't think Virgil's tailor-made for Boots. Boots defensively is big.
I think he is tailor-made for Boots. I think Virgil can fight. I think he can fight. But I think with a guy that is so limited in his boxing ability, you don't create enough problems for a guy like Jerron Boots Ennis. I mean, it's really the only thing Jerron Boots Ennis really has to worry about is Virgil's power. He don't really have to worry about much.
I think the volume. I think Virgil Ortiz punches and bunches,
I just don't think he brings a lot to the table that Jerron Boots Ennis has to worry about.
And I think he underestimated the boxing ability. He showed he could box against Majimov.
No, I'm not saying that he can't box. I said I don't think he's that good of a boxer that Jerron Boots Ennis has to worry that much. That's what I'm saying. With a guy with the talent of Jerron Boots Ennis, you have to give him more than just one thing to worry about. I've watched Virgil fight for a while now, and to be honest with you, he's a better version of Stanionis, as far as he can box better than Stanionis can box. They both similar fighters. They come forward, but Virgil has a better boxing ability than Stanionis. And Boots already been in the ring with Stanionis. The only thing that he has to worry about now is the boxing ability that Virgil has, and Boots been in there with a lot of boxing. So I think it's more of a 60-40 for Jerron Boots Ennis. I don't think Virgil wins this fight. I think Jerron wins this fight. He probably wins this fight easy. He's probably gonna make it easier than what a lot of people expect it to be.
But what happens? What happens if Virgil catches him?
If Virgil catches him and he hurts Jerron, then we'll see what Jerron do, because I've never seen Jerron get hurt.
No, I know that, but Virgil, I don't think Boots has fought anybody with power like a Virgil or even close to that. I mean, he's fought. I mean, Delorme cracked him once, but Delorme got wiped out in the first round. But defensively, I don't think Boots is good in defensively. Like, he gets hit a lot in fights.
I think Juwan has been in there with guys that punch just as hard as Virgil, but they didn't have the boxing ability that Virgil had. And like I said, I don't want to say boxing ability like Virgil is a excellent boxer, because he's not an excellent boxer. I would say he's above average. He's above average boxer, but he's more of a come forward fighter. And Juwan's been in there with guys that got power. It's just they couldn't land it. He's been in there with guys that got power. They just couldn't land it. I think a lot of people don't realize the reflexes that Juwan had. See, a lot of those punches that people say, oh, Juwan get hit with a lot of punches. A lot of times, Juwan is rolling with those shots. He's rolling with those shots. So, yeah, it lands, but it's not the full effect of the shot. So I don't know. That's why I want the fight to happen. So all those questions can be answered. This is the reason why we want these fights to happen.
I just hope it happens before they're 30, because and see that, and that's what I heard a lot of people say, that this fight is building up. They want these guys to get a championship. Nah, because who's to say that these guys win against a title, one of the champions? This is not 27. These guys at 54, they all can fight. The champions, all of the champions can fight. But it's funny. I think out of all the you could take the 3 champions. I still think you would probably put Boots and Virgil 1 and 2, or 1 and 1A. Like, I don't think Xander Zayas is anywhere near these two. And he's got a belt. Bakram is the guy that's kind of like the unknown, right? And then Fandora is the guy that, he's the anomaly of the division. And who's the other guy?
Xander?
I said Xander, who I think is the weakest.
Abbas.
Yeah. Xander's the weakest. And then who's the other guy?
Abbas.
The guy that Xander's
fighting. Bakram, Xander, and Fandora.
Bakram?
Xander and Abbas are about to fight to unify the belts. Okay. And then you got Bakram and Fandora.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I think anyone would probably say that Virgil and Boots are 1 and 1 or 1A.
Yeah, I don't have no problem.
I mean, Fandora is obviously the toughest matchup, and he's got, the resume is pretty solid, but I just hope it happens within. If they want to take a tune-up fight in between, I could deal with it. Just let it happen within the next 9 months.
Yeah.
And I don't want these guys to take a tune-up fight. I want it to happen right now.
Yeah.
Unless they're on the same card.
This is ridiculous.
I mean, like I said, you can't say you want to fight this guy when he was at 47 and he was trying to unify the belts, and now he's at the weight class and he's talking about, oh, no, I don't want to fight right now. No, the man was at 47 when you called him out. You were trying to make the fight while he was still at 47. Now he's at 54. You got past your fight. He got past his fight. He's ready to fight now. Make the fight happen.
I retract what I said about the tune-up, because these motherfuckers don't fight. They only fight twice a year. So it's that. So yeah, it's
make the fight. I mean, we should have that fight sometime like April of next year.
Yeah, I agree. But one is 28, and I think the other one's 27 or something like that.
27 and 28. Yeah, look,
it's ridiculous. BVO says that Virgil beats the chocolate out of Boots, and he also says, "Just say you hate Virgil, free." So shout out to the Dank father.
I'm gonna just say I hate that comment. I just gave the man credit. I said the man can fight.
Yeah, but BVO, let BVO rock.
Now the politics of the game is that Virgil could be Fandora's mandatory.
Yeah.
So
and
now
Duran is the mandatory to the winner of Xander Zayas and Abbas.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean,
the thing of that is that they both got fights coming
Now,
up.
but see, even in that situation, if that goes down, and let's say Virgil beats Frendor, and let's say Jerron beats the winner of Sebastian of Xander and Abad. Jerron wins that fight, and Virgil wins his fight. Jerron got 2 belts.
Yeah,
Virgil only has one.
he would only have one, and then Boots is coming from the division where he had 2 belts too.
yeah,
Yeah,
but I
and
don't think
they
belts.
already said
I don't think belts mean
they
anything.
won 10 million to fight Jerron Boots in it when he's never made more than 2 million.
I think belts are bargaining chips. They help.
Yeah, I just hope the fight if it does get made. Well, it's up to the zone, right? The zone has
Yeah.
control, right? The platform. I just hope the fight does not wind up in the fucking Saudi Arabia.
Yeah.
I mean, the way if Virgil's stuck on that 10 million, it's probably going to happen in Saudi Arabia because Turkey's going to be the one that's going to put the money up because
Yeah.
daggone Eddie Hearn ain't giving Virgil $10 million and Oscar ain't giving Virgil $10 million.
Yeah.
But I think that's a fight that could generate, if promoted well. I think it could. I mean, 10 million is kind of. I mean, it's
I
not
think that fight
chump
is
change, but
worth
I think
$10
it's
million.
doable.
Where do
I
you
think that
where do you
fight
have
is.
the fight
I think the fight is worth $10 million.
I think
But I don't think either one of those guys should get 10 million for the fight because neither one of them are champions. I mean, if you say okay, one of these guys got to get $10 million, it wouldn't be Virgil. He's never been a champion.
I think the fight. I mean, there's 3 places you could have it. I mean, the most
He's
obvious is
never.
Vegas,
I mean, if you look at
Texas, or
both fighters,
Chicago.
you got one guy is a former unified champion, former linear. I believe he was linear at 47. So he's a former unified champion. You got another guy who's never been champion. You got one guy who has sold out in his hometown twice. You got another guy who hasn't sold out. He's been a main event, but he hasn't sold out. So you're like, okay, which one deserved to get $10 million? It's going to lean towards Boots than it would Virgil.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. It might end up being in Saudi Arabia because Turkey's probably going to be the one to put the fight on.
I think you're right because they're gonna argue over the fact of where it's gonna be. One's gonna argue to have it in Dallas, and the other one's gonna argue to have it in Philly. So
Yeah, I don't think that fight happens in Philly.
I think that joint should be in Vegas. To be honest with you,
Yeah.
Philly sold out Philly the last couple of times.
I mean, because Virgil ain't gonna want it to be in New York because that's too close to Philly. So
Yeah.
I think it should be in Vegas.
I mean, does it do well in Vegas? I mean, it's possible it does well in Vegas. It still favors more virtual fans.
Yeah, I think it does well. I think if you want to make a dark horse place, I think Chicago. Chicago's a great sports town, big Mexican population, but it's not that far that people from Philadelphia, if they want to support their guy.
Yeah. But I think this fight is big enough to be in Vegas, to be honest with you. I think it's
So
big
do
enough
I.
to be in Vegas.
So do I.
I think so too.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
But guys, I'm gonna wrap it up because I didn't want to be on too long. We've been on for about 2 hours. We had a great conversation today. Great cook. I appreciate you guys. We're gonna do our football talk probably Sunday morning. If not, maybe late tomorrow. I don't know. I gotta see when I got time because I got a couple things happening on Sunday. I got the interview with Hannah Gabriels, which is going to be a good interview.
Oh, you doing an interview with Hannah Gabriel? Man, we were trying to get Hannah Gabriel. Man, I'm gonna have to drop a dime. I'm gonna have to drop a dime. I don't like that.
Well, to be honest, KG's the one that got the connection, and he got that for us. So he got that one to the table for this one. It's going to be good. She's going to talk about the recent happenings with the.
You already know I'm gonna put a daggone message in the damn chat. We trying to get you over here on this daggone platform for the interview.
So yeah, maybe after this, I could get it. She does respond to messages. She has a great following, and the Instagram post is done like over 1,000 views, something like that.
We were supposed to have that interview with her like 2 years ago.
But yeah, I mean, I'll see what's up after this one, but it should be pretty good. And then I got the radio Sunday, so I may just do a short video, maybe ask for everybody's picks and just read out the picks. I think
You
I did.
showing that interview on your channel as well?
Which one?
I said you showing that interview with Hannah Gabriel on your channel as well?
Yeah, it's going to be on my channel and on KG's channel.
Okay.
So, and I think Shaw is going to be on it with us to have a female present. So she's got some good questions, and so it might be on her channel as well.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, check that out. But yeah, so we'll be back definitely Sunday. We're gonna do our football picks. And then I got the interview, and then throughout the week I'm gonna drop some more videos. I dropped a good one today about what's been happening in the boxing, and it did pretty well. So I'm gonna try to do a little bit more. So see what that does. But appreciate you guys. I'm tired. I got a long day tomorrow. So go Irish tomorrow, 12 o'clock.
High noon.
Yep.
High noon.
All right,
Gary Cooper. Let's go Irish.
1, 2, 3.
Let's go. All right, guys. I'll talk to you guys later. Appreciate everybody that came through and showed love today.
D Free salute.
What's up?
To D Free salute.
Salute. Appreciate everybody that came through on my channel and D Free's channel. Look out for D Free tomorrow. He's gonna, most likely do the Pitt Notre Dame game, and
I'm gonna call the Notre Dame game tomorrow.
And more football content on Sunday, and then look out for my channel as we got Tales from the B-Side definitely Sunday evening at 7 p.m. East Coast time. All right, guys. Talk to you guys later, and be safe, everybody. Have a good night.